I think we're ready to start the new game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to S.T.A.L.K.E.R Clear Sky, a prologue that was made after Shadows of Chernobyl. There is not very much that is crazy different about this game compared to Shadows of Chernobyl. There's actually only 2 extra guns in the game, although they did change a massive amount of the reload animations. Without further ado, we are going to get straight into the master difficulty, as I did for the past game, although shooting with pistols is going to be slightly more annoying, seeing as I don't have iron sights for them. So I will be quiet as the first cutscene plays in any second. Cutscene.
In actual fact, we have nothing to worry about. According to our research, the next emission will not occur for at least 2 months, 4 days, and 7 hours. Its intensity will be 3 on the Bergman scale, which is 2.13.
Oh boy.
Without going into detail, I must say I have never seen anything like this before. The encephalogram suggests serious damage to the nervous system, but the other indicators couldn't be better. It's astounding.
Perhaps it has something to do with the emission.
Most certainly. Although so far I've been utterly unable to formulate a rational explanation for this abnormality.
It was the emission, guys. That's what hit me. I choked because of the emission. Yep. I will admit, this game does look better than Shadows of Chernobyl. Which isn't much of a feat, but still.
Welcome back to the world of the living, Stalker. How are you feeling?
Well, my head's spinning. I spit on myself by accident. I'm in real good shape.
Do you remember what happened to you?
He sounds really quiet. Okay, I remember leading an expedition through the swamps with a bunch of scientists, then an emission. That's it. Where am I? Heaven? Why does it look so much like the Zone?
In the joking mood, eh? That bodes well for your recovery. I'm Lebedev, the group leader, and I'm responsible for everyone here. That includes you, for as long as you're here. We call ourselves Clear Sky, and you are in our base right now. We picked you up in the swamps after the emission.
Alright, guess I got lucky then.
I doubt it. The facts are these. You survived the emission. That's the first thing I still can't explain. The second thing is that our patrol found you in the swamps, which are essentially endless quicksand. And thirdly, you nearly got torn into shreds by a pack of pseudo-dogs. But our boys got you out just in time. Such a chain of events tells me it's more than just luck. Okay, I need to finish what I'm doing. So let's continue this conversation later.
Okay. So I'm in the Clear Sky base, and that dude's the leader of the Clear Sky faction. Interesting. I thought that said talk to the banana. I don't think I'm awake enough yet. Alright, well my name's S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and I have an AK with no ammo, so that's awesome. I assume there's nothing, I can't even get my knife out to loot if I wanted to. So there's probably absolutely nothing around here anyways. Hello, Dad. I'm glad you were able to come in.
Hello, Mark. You became quite a legend.
Is there a way to turn these guys, like, speech up? Because they're really quiet.
Anyways, here's a drink on the house for a lucky son of a gun. It should help you
Lucky
relax
son of
and
a
tell me about
gun.
your adventures, 'cause I'm just dying of curiosity.
There's not much to tell. I was leading a group of scientists through the swamps when an emission hit. I remember nothing after that. I regained my consciousness here. So, now you tell me what happened.
You drink and I'll tell you about this place. It used to be pretty quiet. We had the paths worked out.
Allie likes to
Nice
say the
places
knife looks like a
explored,
lightsaber.
and the approach covered. Of course, the swamps ain't exactly spring break material, but it wasn't too bad either. Yeah, it wasn't too bad until the last emission, the biggest we've ever seen. These days, our boys pray both to God and the devil before going out of the base. Because getting back alive is a miracle in its own right. But we're managing to hold it together. Because our guys ain't here for loot. They're fighting for a cause.
Well, how'd you end up here?
Bottles one after another, and they let me here. I'm kidding, man. Truth is, there was no place for me in that other world. They didn't want me. In the end, I came here. First to the zone, and then to Clear Sky. The guys here are all right, and I'm needed here. They come back here after a mission, I pour them a drink, tell a few dirty jokes, and my job is done. Simple, but effective. By the way, they call me Cold around here.
Ah, his name is Cold. I hope he's comfortable.
In our base, as you can see, it's a small, sinking farmstead in the middle of romantic, endless swamps.
Romantic endless swamps, that's funny.
Exactly. But it's the last place in the zone where you can meet real people. Guys who won't screw you, stab you in the back, or let you bleed to death to save a med kit.
I'm no stranger to the zone, yet I've never heard about Clear Sky. How do things work around
Why
here?
you've never heard of it? Because too many people want to know about it. And the fewer that do, the better. Lebedev is our leader. The man is a rock if ever
I hope
seen.
so too.
He's
I
the
also
glue
hope they're
that holds our
translated.
whole group together. Then there's Bienpolev.
I'm kind of like 50-50. I hope that the important people are translated, but the rest of the people are still in Russian.
Knows more about the zone than
Because that's one of my favorite things about these games.
our technician's called Gray, and he can make you a rifle out of an empty can with ammo to boot. He could use some spares, but apart from that. And finally, we have Suslov. He's a trader, but he ain't like the others of his trade. He won't try to rip you off or screw you.
Cole,
He knows what
leave the
stalkers
merc
go
alone
through
with
to
your
get
dirty
their loot,
jokes.
and he
I need to
respects
see
that.
him.
Well, brother, if Lebedev
well,
says he
okay.
needs to see you, that ain't up for a discussion.
Well, before we continue, I want to see if there's any way to turn up. I mean, I guess the sound effects volume should go up a couple. I guess? I don't really know what else would turn their talking up.
Stop by for a chat anytime. This place is so boring.
I mean, yeah, I
We
guess...
got visiting our swamps. You sure are a whiff of fresh air.
I mean, that kind of turned them up, but I think that I'm going to just probably have to deal with people talking really quietly for a while. Which is okay, because even though I've played this game before and it's been a while, I have played it, so... What, sir?
That's some fresh air.
That's
You
better.
look better, that's
a
for
little
sure.
better.
Let me fill you in on the situation. You're in the Clear Sky base. Don't try to remember who we are. You've never heard of us, and there's a very good reason for that. Our mission is to research the zone. We believe that the zone must be studied and understood so that humanity knows what it is facing here. Understanding is the key to coexisting with the zone. Because if you think about it, the zone is the most wondrous phenomenon humanity has been confronted with in its entire history.
If you follow me on Twitch, Dad, it'll actually notify the stream and do a funny thing.
As I said, we are researchers. We are trying to figure out the nature of the zone, determine the reasons which caused it to appear, and formulate the rules that govern its existence. We are not consumed by a quest for money. We don't seek fields of artifacts, and we're not interested in turf wars with other factions. That is why we're hiding here in the swamps and concentrating on our research. Our forte is not combat, but knowledge. Knowledge of the zone, accumulated over years of research. We know more about it than stalkers and the government combined. And our research was finally shaping up into a sound, coherent picture until the massive emission a few days ago.
So, wait, what was so peculiar about it? We've had emissions before.
No, that emission was incredibly powerful. It was on a level of its own. It was like a hurricane that swept the whole zone, changing it. Everything is different. The well-known and relatively safe areas have become highly radioactive and full of anomalies. But now, you can access parts of the zone that have been unreachable for years. Even the most hardened stalkers don't know what awaits them on their favorite path. The other thing that changed is people, and that became evident right away. The emission destroyed the fragile balance between factions, and they're now warring for territory. In other words, many strange things have happened, and I don't yet fully understand the scale of these changes. It's only been a few days since the emission. If you ask me, the strangest thing of all is that you managed to survive it.
If I knew, come on, mouth. If I knew how I survived, I'd tell you in a second, but I don't remember anything.
I see. How can I help you?
I better leave. I'm pretty beaten up, but I can still walk and hold a gun. How do I get out of here?
Getting out of here isn't easy, not by a long shot. The swamps are a real maze of reeds and radioactive quicksand, swarming with terrible monsters and human scum. And I don't know which is worse. Only a guide can lead you safely out of here. We only have a handful of them. Guys I would trust with my life without a second thought. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. Because if I let you go, our presence here might not stay a secret for long.
What are you trying to say?
We are having a very tough time here recently. The emission reduced the number of anomalies in the swamps, which made the area easily accessible for bandits and other vermin. There are so many of them, they'll be setting up camp in our base soon if we don't do something about it. The problem is that we're not really the fighting type, so we've been steadily losing ground. But you, one look at you, tells me you're a pro in that sort of thing.
This is the second outpost.
Your experience can save the lives of many of my... That's enough chit-chat. There's been another attack on our outpost. Help us fight it off. If it makes any difference, some of the boys who saved you are there right now. You still remember how to survive in the zone?
I remember bits and
Get
pieces.
over to the trader and he'll fit you out with some basic equipment. After that, head straight to the outpost. Once you're outside the base, listen to my advice. I'll try to guide you along.
Alrighty. I don't think I can actually pull my gun
Trader,
out.
a fighter is on his way to you. Issue him with all the equipment he'll need for the mission.
Yeah, it won't even let me pull out my knife. I don't know if it'll let me pull my stuff out after I talk to this guy.
At last. Here, take this basic equipment kit. It's designed specifically for patrol missions.
Thanks. Hey, is it always this stressful
I've
here?
been ordered to issue you some equipment. There's no time for questions. The boys need you now.
Yeah, I'm gone. Yeah, I still can't pull my gun out.
What you need, Stalker?
You're supposed to take me to the outpost. I'll blindfold you until we get there. Oh, well, okay.
Mark, there are anomalies ahead. Be careful. Remember,
Oh, yeah.
don't move until you've thrown a
I don't know
bomb in
how
front of you.
anomalies work. Thank you. When I got to the end of Shadows of Chernobyl, Dad... Oh, go ahead, you can talk.
Find artifacts and anomalies. You can't see them, but detectors spot them easily enough. If you get close enough, your detector will indicate the location of the artifact, and then you just pick it up easy as pie. Keep in mind that your current detector isn't exactly top of the line. It only shows the distance to the artifact.
Interesting. When I got to the end of the last game, Dad, I ended up having to drop a ton of my stuff because I had found the stash in Pripyat and had so much stuff that I couldn't make it past the mission in time unless I dropped all my stuff and booked it to the entrance of the factory. And so, like, my entire fight with Monolith, not that much longer into the game, was very not fun.
Run for the tower. The monsters can't get you there.
Okay. Oh, that's right. This game reversed its inventory for some reason. I noticed that. I don't know why it did that.
You're right on time, bro. I'm real low on ammo, so let's make the best of it together.
Okay. I'm also not too sure that I'm happy about the fact that I no longer had iron sights. Yeah, I had stashes everywhere, but I didn't remember that there was supposed to be a mission. Or a, oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know if this is safe, but I'm gonna try and stay here. I don't really know where else I am supposed to go. Oh, was I supposed to run back to the base? Or I wasn't. Oh. Okay. Ask the boss what happened. Can I take my guns out? Still can't take my guns out. Okay. Mr. Bald Man, what happened? I'm very confused and my brain hurt.
You survived the emission again. I'm not even that surprised. Our boys picked you up not far from the tower when things calmed down a bit. You know, Bien Polev was right. You defy scientific explanation. He believes that you acquired some, let's say, unusual abilities, which help you survive anomalous activity that would literally tear anyone else down to atoms. Also, it looks like something is increasing your body's performance in several areas, to the point where our monitoring equipment goes off the scale. Wait, don't get too excited. There's always a fly in the ointment. Every
That's a saying I haven't heard
harms
before.
your nervous system, and if this continues, you will die.
Interesting. Why do they occur
A
this
normal
often?
emission is the release of energy accumulated in the zone. A discharge, if you like. But what's happening now is completely different. In my opinion, the increasing regularity of these emissions is the zone's response to some sort of serious threat, akin to the response provided by a human
Oh my
immune
gosh,
system.
are you serious?
It is difficult to rationally explain coexistence between humans
I'll
and
have
the
to do
zone.
that after the stream.
The zone tolerates us in some areas and forbids us from going to others. Whatever is beyond the Scorcher and further towards the center of the zone is taboo, a place where stalkers are not supposed to set foot. I think that recent events in the zone are related to the fact that someone broke that taboo and made it past the brain scorcher.
Oh man, I wonder who did that. Someone got past the Scorcher? What risk does that pose for the
It's
zone?
hard to say. To answer that question, I would need to know what's in the center of the zone. Some say the monolith, others say the Vishkrater. The more unpretentious ones dream about fields of rare artifacts.
That's
I was at the
kind of
power
true
plant
too.
myself, a young specialist at the time, but I don't know what's there now. What I can say is that the Scorcher appeared for a reason. It prevents the center of the zone from being reached. People cannot go beyond the brain Scorcher.
Is there a real way to pass the Scorcher? Even a theoretical chance?
I didn't think so until the large emission. Hell, nobody thought so. However, if you consider the emissions to be a defensive reaction, then the answer is obvious. Someone made it through the Scorcher, and the emission was the zone's response. And since the emissions haven't stopped, Whoever it was must still be alive. The zone is trying to get them, and it's killing everything that's alive in the process.
What's the
I know a
danger
lot
of
about the
these
zone, but I can't share everything
frequent
with you.
emissions?
You'll just have to trust me on some things. A system, any system, needs to be in equilibrium. The zone is unstable right now, and this instability is increasing. If the constant emissions aren't stopped, the zone will become so unstable that a new disaster will occur. Which brings us to what Clear Sky is doing. We are trying to prevent that disaster.
Prevent the disaster? You're not even strong enough to fight off bandits.
You're right. But we do know how to prevent a disaster and stop the emissions. And that means something.
Lots of confidence you got there. So, what's the plan?
We have to find out who was in the center of the zone and stop them at any price.
Okay, but why are you telling me this of all people?
There's a strange connection between you and the zone. On the one hand, every new emission gradually kills you. On the other hand, you survive in situations where others don't stand a chance. My gut feeling tells me that your abilities, your gift, your curse, call it what you will, they mean you can get through places that others wouldn't even dream of. And at the moment, we need to act very quickly.
Alright, not sure I want to jump right into the thick of things. Why do I have to take part in this?
I knew you'd ask that. The answer is simple. If the emissions aren't stopped, your nervous system will burn out and you'll die. Help us and you'll save yourself. Now this may sound like a line from a corny movie.
Yeah,
but you really don't have a choice.
looks like my options are pretty limited.
Unfortunately, yes. So, will you help us?
I guess.
Then listen carefully. We have made use of all our contacts and connections in this zone.
Sidorovich, yay.
As a result, we know that a certain stalker at the cordon was asking Sidorovich about some very strange components. That's all we have for the moment. But it's a lead.
Interesting. How do I reach the
Through the
cordon?
swamps, of course, how else? But remember what I said. After the emission, a whole army of all kinds of scum turned up in the area. Now they control almost everything. We are under siege, and I'm not exaggerating one bit. So before we can help you get to the cordon, we have to regain control of the swamps. And with your help, I think we should be able to do it.
Alright, understood.